A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. Chapter 15 B. But I lost the thread there and dozed off to slumber, thinking about what a pity it was that men with such superb strength, enabling them to stand up cased in cruelly burdensome iron and drenched with perspiration, and hack and batter and bang each other for 6 hours on a stretch, should not have been born at a time when they could put it to some useful purpose. Take a jackass, for instance. A jackass has that kind of strength and puts it to a useful purpose, and is valuable to this world because he is a jackass. But a nobleman is not valuable because he is a jackass. It is a mixture that is always ineffectual, and should never have been attempted in the first place. And yet, once you start a mistake, the trouble is done, and you never know what is going to come of it. When I came to myself again and began to listen, I perceived that I had lost another chapter, and that Alisande had wandered a long way off with her people. And so they rode and came into a deep valley full of stones, and thereby they saw a fair stream of water. Above thereby was the head of the stream, a fair fountain, and 3 damsels sitting thereby. In this country, said Sir Marhaus, came never knight since it was christened, but he found strange adventures. This is not good form, Alisande. Sir Marhaus, the king's son of Ireland, talks like all the rest. You ought to give him a brogue, or at least a characteristic expletive. By this means one would recognize him as soon as he spoke, without his ever being named. It is a common literary device with the great authors. You should make him say, in this country, be jabbers, came never knight since it was christened, but he found strange adventures, be jabbers. You see how much better that sounds. Came never knight, but he found strange adventures, be jabbers. Of a truth it doth indeed, fair lord, albeit 'tis passing hard to say, though peradventure they will not tarry, but better speed with usage. And then they rode to the damsels, and either saluted the other, and the eldest had a garland of gold about her head, and she was 80 winter of age, or more. The damsel was, even so, dear lord, and her hair was white under the garland. Celluloid teeth, $9 a set, as like as not, the loose-fit kind that go up and down like a portcullis when you eat, and fall out when you laugh. The second damsel was 30 winter of age, with a circlet of gold about her head. The third damsel was but 15 year of age. Billows of thought came rolling over my soul, and the voice faded out of my hearing. 15. Break my heart. Oh, my lost darling. Just her age, who was so gentle and lovely, and all the world to me, and whom I shall never see again. How the thought of her carries me back over wide seas of memory to a vague, dim time, a happy time, so many, many centuries hence, when I used to wake in the soft summer mornings out of sweet dreams of her and say, "Hello, Central," just to hear her dear voice come melting back to me with a "Hello, Hank." There was music of the spheres to my enchanted ear. She got $3 a week, but she was worth it. I could not follow Alisande's further explanation of who our captured knights were now. I mean, in case she should ever get to explaining who they were. My interest was gone. My thoughts were far away and sad. By fitful glimpses of the drifting tale caught here and there and now and then, I merely noted in a vague way that each of these 3 knights took one of these 3 damsels up behind him on his horse, and one rode north, another east, the other south, to seek adventures, and meet again and lie after year and day, and without baggage. It was of a piece with the general simplicity of the country. The sun was now setting. It was about 3 in the afternoon when Allison had begun to tell me who the cowboys were, so she had made pretty good progress with it. For her, she would arrive some time or other, no doubt, but she was not a person who could be hurried. We were approaching a castle which stood on high ground, a huge, strong, venerable structure, whose gray towers and battlements were charmingly draped with ivy, and whose whole majestic mass was drenched with splendors flung from the sinking sun. It was the largest castle we had seen, and so I thought it might be the one we were after, but Sandy said no. She did not know who owned it. She said she had passed it without calling, and when she went down to Camelot.